All right, let's get right into it. The government has just dropped its plan for the Kharif 2025-26 season, and if you're prepping for exams, you are absolutely going to want to pay attention. This is way more than just farming. We're talking national strategy and thousands of crores of rupees. So let's break down exactly what you need to know. Okay, let's start with the headline figure, the big number. The union government has greenlit a procurement plan worth over 15,000 crore rupees. That is a huge amount of money, and it's all aimed at farmers in 4 specific states. You'll want to remember this number as we move forward.
So we've got this massive number, right? But what does it actually mean on the ground for farmers? And maybe more importantly for you, what are the specific details, the schemes, the states, the crops that are likely to pop up on your exams? Well, that's exactly what we're about to unpack.
So why is the government spending over 15,000 crores? I mean, this isn't just a simple case of buying crops. To really get what this plan is all about, we have to look at the bigger picture and see it for what it is, a major statement of national policy.
This quote from the Union Agriculture Minister is so important. Notice the direct line he's drawing here. Better returns for farmers, he says, leads to an Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant India. This is really the core philosophy behind the whole plan. For your exams, understanding this connection between farm economics and national strategy, that's absolutely crucial. It's the kind of high-level concept that examiners love.
And here are the specific goals they've laid out. You can almost see it as a chain reaction they're hoping for, right? You start by protecting farmers from the wild swings of the market, you make sure they get better returns, and the hope is that this boosts production. And the ultimate goal? Achieving self-reliance with a really strong focus on pulses, which, as you know, are a critical protein source that India has historically had to import in large quantities.
All right, so we've covered the why. Now let's get into the where and the what. These specific state-wise details are often where the trickiest exam questions are hiding, so let's zoom in a bit.
Okay, first things first, you have got to remember the 4 states involved. So here's a super simple mnemonic to help you lock it in for exam day. Just think TOMM. That's T for Telangana, O for Odisha, M for Maharashtra, and another M for Madhya Pradesh. TOMM. Easy to remember when you're under pressure.
Now pay close attention, because this table is the heart of the announcement. If you're going to memorize anything, start right here. Let's break it down. Take a look at Maharashtra. It has the biggest financial share by a long shot, and it's procuring 3 different crops under the PSS scheme. Now compare that to Madhya Pradesh. They're also handling a massive quantity, but it's only of soybean. And look, they're using a completely different scheme, the PDPS. Spotting these kinds of differences is key. And hey, don't overlook Odisha. 100% procurement of Arhar, a major pulse, is a very significant commitment.
This chart just gives you a really powerful visual of the financial scale. You can see just how dominant Maharashtra's share is. It's way out in front. Madhya Pradesh comes in at a distant second, and then Telangana. Now, you might be wondering, hey, where's Odisha? Well, as we saw in the table, the financial value for its procurement wasn't specified in the announcement, so it's not here. That's another one of those little details that's really important to remember. Okay, so we've been throwing around terms like PSS and PDPS. To really get a handle on how this all works, we need to do a little jargon busting. Government schemes are full of acronyms, so let's define the key ones you have to know. The big one, the most important scheme you need to know is PMASH. Think of this as the main umbrella. Both the PSS and the PDPs that we've been talking about, they both fall under this one program. And its core mission is pretty simple. Make sure farmers get good, remunerative prices for what they grow. Now this slide breaks down the absolutely crucial difference between the 2 main methods being used here. On the left, you've got the Price Support Scheme, or PSS. This is the traditional way. The government physically goes out and buys the crops at the minimum support price. This is what's happening in Telangana, Maharashtra, and Odisha. But on the right, you have the Price Deficiency Payment Scheme, or PDPS. With this one, there's no physical buying. The government just pays the farmer the cash difference if the market price falls below the MSP. That's the model they're using for soybean in Madhya Pradesh.
So who actually does all this work on the ground? Well, the government relies on 2 key agencies for that. You'll want to remember these names, NAFED and NCCF. As you can see, they are the ones responsible for procuring 100% of key pulses like Tur, Urad, and Masoor. They're the ones executing the national strategy of achieving self-reliance.
All right, we have gone through the strategy, the states, the data, and all the different schemes. Now, let's pull it all together into one final summary. Think of this next slide as your high-yield revision note. All the key facts, all in one place.
Okay, let's do a quick final run-through. What is this? A procurement plan for pulses and oilseeds for the Kharif 2025-26 season. How much? Over 15,000 crore rupees. Where? Remember our mnemonic, the TOMM states. How is it being done? Under the big AASHA umbrella, using two different subschemes, PSS for physical buying and PDPS for deficiency payments. What are the key data points? Maharashtra has the highest value, Madhya Pradesh has the largest quantity. Who's doing it? NAFED and NCCF are the key agencies for pulses. And finally, why? To boost farmer income and achieve Atmanirbhar Bharat. There you have it, the whole thing condensed.
So we'll leave you with this one last question to think about. This plan is a major step for sure, but the journey towards agricultural self-reliance is a long one. What do you think will be the next big policy shift for India's farmers? It's a really crucial question to consider. That's all for this explainer. Thanks for joining us.